I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On with the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Keith, and I'm your host, and this is part 2, 4 inches longer. Alright, we've flipped over our coupling. The coupling face is facing this way here, and we just put a center drill in here because we're going to swap out and put our live center in here to help support this in here. Not that this isn't probably holding enough strength on here, but we're going to go ahead and we're going to hog off this diameter because we're going to be reducing it down some amount, and we just want to add that little support in there so that we're not going to be flexing this thing off of where we're at. We're pushed up tight against the face, gives that face relatively zero, depending on the quality of your chuck, which we know that's running pretty good. And we dialed this diameter here, which this diameter is running true with everything that we've cut on the other side. Alright, so let's change it out and get set up here. Okay, let's get her fired up here. We're going to come on the outside and we're going to touch off here. There's the outside skin. And we're going to go ahead and dial in. We're going to dial in 100 here, and we're going to see how she's going to work on here. We've got a medium feed rate here. The outside of ductile material is got like a little hardness to it. In fact, actually in the center of that cut you can see a little bit of a shinier section there, and it is a heat affected zone. We went down to just past where that outside scale was from where we cut it, meet the cut from the other side. You can see that the gloss here, but on the way back, all this was really, tool pressure was exceeding what it normally is on my way back. And I'll just pop this up here, and this edge has given way, and it actually has smoked that leading edge right there. So we're going to change out the insert for our second cut. And I think we're going to be down below that scale now, and we shouldn't have any more major effect like this. But that one cut on the outside there trashed that out pretty good. We're going to come back in with a new insert here. That sounds a little better. All right, and that showed up about 15 thousandths less than it did before, so that could have been the wear. We're going to go for 1/8 of an inch, 125 now. Here we go. That was a pretty good load of chips right there. A lot of them fell off the front side, but that's a pretty good pile on deck. Okay, I think we're coming down to our last rough cut here. So we're just taking our calipers, springing it over there, and we go over the outside of our other part, and definitely we are sticking out a 1/4 inch or so. Let me grab my scale. All right, we know that we need to be 5.5 as the finish, and right now we're at 5 3/4. All right, so we're gonna our last cut. We're gonna take 100 thousandths per side, and we'll leave 50 on the rough on the outside here. We got a pretty good pile of chips down there at the base. They're even going down on the floor of the shop now. Okay, and here we go. Last rough cut. So we took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 eighths off of there per side. And this is our last cut here. Then we're going to regroup on our part so we can get this section roughed out. This would be a valley, a little bit smaller diameter than this diameter. The chips burned a hole through my rag here, but it's been wiping pretty good back and forth. The lead screw here is like a little auger too. It catches the pile coming here and it pushes it out in the front if you didn't notice that. And these are rolling down and they're rolling all the way off the lathe bed here. All right. Time to regroup. This is what we got in here. We're getting ready. We're going to clean up our compound area, clean up our jaws, and we're going to bring this out. We'll set it on some blocks and parallels or whatever. We're going to get it out so that we're chucked up behind this face right here. And then we're going to be putting this relief. This relief is put in here so that you can access or get the bolts in. All right, so this hub length just needs to stay the same, but that relief is going to be a little bit longer. Why not? It makes the coupling lighter. I mean, we're adding enough to make it longer, but it doesn't do anything for the strength, but it does do something for access to the bolts and making it a little lighter. All right, so that's our plan. We turned our jaws around. We found that the jaws can come in all the way and let us sit on that inside grab, the first inside grab. We don't have anything to actually measure back here, and except for to come in and out and touch that off. And it's not that critical right now for the roughing stage. But we put it in there, put our center in here. We're dialed within 1/1000th at this diameter right here. We took some sharpen, and right there's our scribe line. We brought, we changed around here, and put another same insert holder, just a left hand, and we put it, or right hand, put it in here upside down, so it's the left hand now. And so we got the reach so that we're not extending over our ways a long distance. All right, we have a new towel down here to catch and divert the chips on down there. It'll probably get wasted by the time we get this down. We're all set to go, and I think we're just going to take on the same amount that we were going. We're going to try it. We were able to do 1/8 of an inch per pass. So let's get some gear here. Okay, I'm going to come in here, touch. Okay, there's 1/8 of an inch right there. Same feed, everything. We're tight. Compound's tight. Everything's tight. Let's go. Probably because we're sticking out just a little bit farther, we're getting that whine. Okay, we're not going to be able to listen to that whine all the time. Hence the life direction here. Okay, here we go. 100,000 instead of 1/8. It actually lifts the compound off that dovetail there. All right. And probably the feed rate that we're feeding in on it. It is hanging out quite a bit. There's a lot of leverage right there. All right, let's come up with another solution here. I've done this in the past. Taking a boring bar, run the bar upside down. Now this has got a CNMP insert in here, and now we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring our carriage to where we're flush at the edge here, and that's kind of where we want the max travel. We just want to be able to know that we're coming within there. It's about the same stick out that you saw there, but it's a much better hold here. All right, so we're going to square that up, and this bar lines up with 4 flats there, so we just put the square against it. Hear Hootie in the background. Okay, and There we go. All right. Now we're set. Okay, I didn't look at the... It doesn't look like it's extremely worn or broke. We're going to let that fly. All right, and that's locked down nice. And we know we're automatically on center no matter what, because this bar has always been on center, and we always just line up the flats. And it doesn't matter if you're facing for a bore or for an exterior reverse turn. All right. Give it some more gear here. Okay. We're just going to come out here and touch where we were. And one thing we didn't do is we didn't set our in travel. We like to set our travel dial, just make sure we're on 0. We're going to visually look at it, but we also want to know. All right. There's 0. Okay, and we're gonna crank in 100, and we're gonna check that out first. We'll see how it handles that. Okay, that sounds pretty good, but I think we're gonna experiment with a negative rake insert in there. And that's a positive acting bit that's in there now. Even though it's set negative, it has a positive action to it. A no-name insert I got in here. Alright, and we're going to go ahead and take the rest of the 50 that was on that one. This is lightly cutting this diameter here because of the tool pressure that was on the original cut. And when it gets up to this point here, we'll pick up the full 50,000. Which is not, we just want to go ahead and make a uniform diameter here to get started on the next cut. But we'll see how this no-name handles this here. Not too bad. Okay, we'll come back to it when we get the next cut, and we'll try the whole 100,000, and then we'll see if they'll pick up from there. Here's 100,000 with the no-name bit. Oh, it's getting it off of there. Little harmonics. We're going to see if we can get a chunk of lead on the back of that bar. Okay, little chunk of lead on the back takes the thing out. Okay, back in at 50 there. Let's just see if it'll take... or excuse me, that was 100. Let's see if it'll take an eighth of an inch right now. Okay, we're in business. The no-name bit with a chunk of lead on the bar puts us where we were on the last setup. So we're on our third cut since we started the 1/8 of an inch per pass. He's still holding up pretty good. We'll have to give you a visual on that no-name insert. The reason why I say no name is it just came in a box of bits that come from a test facility, and so you don't really know what they did with them or what they're made of. You just you try them and they work. They work. Okay, we've already made a pass or so, and I'm at the compound set at 30 because that's what that angle is on that relief there. And of course we don't want to go too far, but we'll go ahead and we'll measure that diameter there, and we're just holding it over the other, and it looks like we got a couple hundred thousandths more to go on it. All right, so I'm going to crank this in and then come back until I touch the angle, because that's our starting point. Okay, right there. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and feed it in, and I'm just kind of eyeballing my amount of my cut here. We'll dress that angle off at the final cut there. So I'm just cranking in. I have to visually look at it because 30 in that way is different as far as your amount of approach coming in there. Okay, that looks like about 50. And then we just let that cut until we get over to the face. I just measured this diameter on the sample, and it's 5/200, and we're not really trying to get too picky here. 5/285. All right, so we got about 85 thousandths got to come off of this diameter right here. Now I'm just going to touch off. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to touch off, and I'm going to feed in and kind of wobble back and forth until I get down to, I don't know, like 50, 60 thousandths. And then we'll take a cut across there, and then we'll just be leaving a skim on there for the final cut on the outside. But we're going to bring it into here, and then we're going to dress off the back side of this flange, which is a whole bunch of cuts that come up and just stopped at a certain destination there. It needs to be cleaned up. Okay, there's 0. I'll set 0 here, and now we know that half of that's going to be like 25 or 30. Okay, there's 25. Okay, now we're just feeding out on there. All right, now we're just going to come in very slowly, so we make a pretty clean cut. This is open air, so it's not really that critical, but okay. Now we'll start and we'll let it go across and take that diameter down. Let's see what we got here now. Uh, 6 inches, 230. So it's only got about 15,000 per side, but this is a little bit over here, and the lengths are a little bit over. All right, we're going to swing this around. We're going to just kiss this flange off here. And we're going to leave a little tiny bit of material down in here because there's supposed to be a radius in there. And we want to make sure we got that in there. Okay. So that's about our mark there for I don't know if you can, let's see if we can move you over here a little bit. Okay, we're just feeding in by hand. Into about right there. Okay, feed it in about 25 there. Okay, I'm gonna let it feed in now. Okay, we're into that shoulder area there. Now I'm just kind of putting a radius in there by hand. Okay. Probably a little closer to chamfer than is a radius, but it's leaving enough material. We're going to poke it in with a radius tool bit when we're all done with this diameter, and we still have some off of this thickness right here. So we've got a little plus on all dimensions right now. All right, so we're going to go ahead and set up and put our pilot for the bore.
Thought I smelled something burning.
Oh, can you smell that smell?